Welcome to the Sabrosa Podcast. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend. Hey, Rick is in the building. And I also got
Peace.
Phlegmatic.
Yo.
You already know what time it is. Welcome, guys.
Sabrosa Podcast. Thank you for having us. What's up, Steph?
Thank you so much for coming, guys. First and foremost, how are you guys doing?
We are doing great. I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah.
I'm just.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing great.
What up with you, Phlegmatic? How you doing? How you feeling today?
I'm starstruck out here.
Starstruck? Oh shit. Well, let's get right into the shit. So we don't have we have time, but we just want to get through everything. We want to be able to discuss everything because there's just so much that's been going on, and I just feel like we gotta start from the beginning.
Wow, that's a long. Yeah,
we're gonna start from the beginning.
Time?
Yeah,
awesome.
We're gonna start from the beginning because people need to know how dope you are. And I just want to give you your flowers while you're here. And I really want to start on that note because that's the fucking note we're starting on, the motherfucking press. I want to give you your flowers while you're here. When I initially met you, and I've never told you this before, and I want to tell you this on my podcast because I feel like there's no better place but to do it. When I initially met you, I just want you to know that I really had some kind of like admiration for you. I still do, but I know you, like we have built a rapport now, so I feel like I consider you a friend now, right? But before you became one of my friends, I had like this admiration for you. Like I didn't know you like that yet. You were like kind of mysterious. I was like, I want to get like more, pick his brain more. Like I want to see what's up with him. Like when Lito introduced you to me and the guys and everyone, I was like, yo, this dude is doing some dope stuff. Like he's planning his own shows. He's like getting all these people to come out. It wasn't just like there was like 10 people there. There was like over 50 people there, and everybody looked like they were having a good time. And I just want to, we are going to get more deep into it, but I definitely want to like give you your flowers. I think that's not hard. That's not easy. Like,
wow, I'm you know how to make a brown man blush, but
real talk, like that's not an easy task.
I thank you. That means a lot to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
because I appreciate the words. Really, I'm really like kind of taken back
by
honest.
It.
Thank you.
Honesty is the best policy.
Word.
And that's also why Phlegmatic is here, because he's also a part of your process, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like this is something that I want to highlight the most because it's not easy to, sit down and build these shows and build rapport with these artists and like really like grow a following that is it's really like authentic. It's not a generic. It's not a bot. It's not forced. It's not. You're not paying people $5 for a follow or for a repost. Like you really out here like connecting with the people. So that's where I want to start. So how did this come about? I know growing up, Mexican, right? Mexican-American. You grew up. Parents are Mexican, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Passaic, New Jersey.
Banging ass food. I couldn't imagine
growing
up.
My gosh. I was definitely a big boy growing up, so I ate a lot. Yeah.
Growing up, side note, quick story. One of my childhood best friends, she was Mexican. Her mom and her dad were Mexicans. Shout out to Steph. Her mom always used to bring like every week, like she would send her to the school with like flautas, but like real tortillas that she made from scratch, like the sour cream from Mexico, like literally like, and I'll never forget that food. That's why I definitely, Mexico is super dope to me. I've been there.
I was gonna ask you where you been. Where have you been over there?
I went to Mexico City.
I love it.
But I initially went to Cozumel, Mexico with my mom, and we since we were like off the island, we had to take like a little boat, and then they take us like on a little like Jeep or whatever, and then we go to Mexico City. My mom didn't want to go, but I feel like even as a 16-year-old at the time, like I was so deep in like hip hop culture already that I was like, yo, I want to learn this culture. Because like my cousin's half Mexican, one of my favorite cousins, she's half Mexican. Her dad is Mexican. Growing up, her dad was around us. So that's why that culture, like I respect it like a lot. Like Mexican culture is dope. I think the food is great. People are really nice.
We are. I love where my family's from. I definitely very prideful of that and proud of that. Yeah, because I grew up looking, I look a little Asian, which is beautiful too. I'm not even downplaying that, but I grew up with that, you ain't Mexican or, you're
I'm
not.
not gonna front. When I met you, I couldn't believe. Like when you
like,
said that, I was like, after you said it, I'm like, I could see that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see it before you said it.
Word. I get Filipino a lot, or like.
Right.
Which is dope. I love it. There's no complaint in that. But yeah, I really I thank my parents. As a kid, I used to go to Mexico every summer, and they would just leave us over there for like 2 months at a time. And it wasn't like, they would leave us literally like in the farm with my family. So like, as kids, we would complain about it. We hated it. But in retrospect, I appreciate that because, it humbled us a lot. Humbled us young, So shout out to my parents for that because I miss that. I really do. Like, it was simple and effective, but, I enjoyed
But
my
it's
time.
effective for us to connect to, like, our roots because at the end of the day, like, when we grow up, like, how about you, Phlegmatic? Where are you from? Like, where are your parents originally from, like, country-wise?
Colombian and Peruvian.
So I feel like you can also identify with us with the, like, they want us to learn, like, their customs and, like, their culture, right? And I feel like that's really important because I feel like now that's, like, getting lost. Like, people don't really know, like, if they go to their country, they go on, like, tourists. They don't really, like, I see my grandma kill a chicken from scratch and, like, defeather it.
Yeah,
put it in a pot.
Farm stuff, man. Yeah, we did all
Make
that.
it in the sancocho 2 hours later. Like, seeing that changes your perspective on a lot of things.
Without
and,
a
like,
doubt.
probably one of the reasons I don't eat pork to this day because I saw it happen in front of my face in Bani. And after that, I was like, yeah, no, I'm good.
That's real though.
So, like,
my aunt, they used to make us go out with my aunt to do that. Go kill the chickens in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, what?
It does.
Go do it. Like, you're gonna get your hands dirty. You have to. So it was like a difference from how we are here.
Yeah, it's mad different, and it humbles us down, and it makes us feel like connected, right? And I also feel like when I go to the Dominican Republic and I hang out with my family, I almost feel like I lose track of time. Like, time is not, like, existing. I'm just catching up with them, like, learning. I like to learn. Like, I ask a lot of questions. Like, I ask about, like, my great-great-great-grandma. Like, let me see, y'all got a picture of her. Like, I be asking questions like, what was my dad doing when he was, like, 10? Like, I'm trying to know. I ended up finding out that this dictator,
Trujillo.
yes. He came to my grandma's house, my dad's mom, and he literally took my aunt. He took my aunt. To make her one of his girls, like, not even one of his wife. Like, he just wanted her to be, like, one of his bitches. And like, she literally left for months, like, with Trujillo, like, on some crazy, like, that's what he would do. And just learning that, I'm like, yo, that means my aunt was bad. Like, she had to be a bad bitch. Like, he just rolled up in the crib.
He's like, I want that one right there. That's the one.
And it's crazy. It's my dad's sister. Like, it was, like, mad weird. Like, she was good. Thank God she came back in good graces. Nothing bad happened to her. But it's just crazy. I mean, that we know of, right? No, but it's just like,
if she went, the rule was that Trujillo took you.
Right. I'm sure she was like, involved in promiscuous acts and, like, doing all this crazy shit. But I hope it wasn't against her will. I mean, hopefully she was living the lavish life at least.
The lavish life. Shout out to Tia.
But yeah.
Shout out to Tia.
But yeah, I mean, it's whatever. I mean, I just feel like times have changed, but
I think my family got crazy history too, man. Like, and they didn't tell me this growing up. I found out just because I was curious. So, like, my great grandfather, my grandmother's father, he fought with Zapata in, like, the revolution. And, finding out that young, you get, like, very prideful that you're like, that's crazy because, what came from that's, like, it's massive, One of the biggest, like, I think one of the biggest documents for, like, land distribution for poor people came from that. And that's, I'm
that's,
very proud.
Huge.
Yeah, I'm very proud of stuff like that, because, that shit just, it's your identity, Your people are about that. So
literally, and, like,
I mean, I don't preach that shit, but,
Yeah, of course.
I'm
like,
in myself, I know,
Facts. And, like, I just feel like it's cool, like, to know things like that about your family. And it's just, like, we're all kind of, like, even though a lot of them are gone, like, they're still connected to us. Like, we came from them. And if they weren't here, we wouldn't be here. Like, straight up, I look at my grandma and I'm like, damn, if you didn't have my mom, mad people wouldn't exist.
Shout out to the ancestors.
Shout out to the ancestors. Like, a lot of people, like, this conversation was like
Nah,
total,
this is
but I
like-
just feel like this is important, like being connected to like your past. Like it has a lot to do with people now. Like I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of things that have happened, like were like, for example, like traumatic and like my parents passed or whatever. I feel like I've been that kid that's helped them like think differently, like change your perspective. Don't think like how your parents thought. Like it's not that bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I just like my parents before, they wouldn't even think. They would like, oh, you need to go to a therapist, you're crazy. Like people that need therapy are nuts. People that need therapy are not okay, right? So now I've talked to my parents about this stuff and like now they're like, yo, it's not bad talking to somebody. But before, hell no.
Non-existent.
So I
Wouldn't
feel like
happen.
it goes both ways. Like they help us and we also help them. And I feel like my dad be dropping mad gems about his life that I learned from. So I think it's dope. I think talk to your elders, man. That shit is mad important, man. Everybody needs to tap in with your elders because you're never too old to be a student. Like I always say that. Like you're never too old to like learn shit.
I love that. Yeah, that's
Where's
always
your family
learn,
from?
always learn.
My family's Dominican. But like there's this, because my great grandpa was the historian in Bani. He was like a historian type dude. So he held like mad stories and shit. So that's why I know mad shit about my family history. Thank God he took the time to like do the research and like do all that shit. So I know exactly like what they're mixed with. I know I have like Mediterranean descent, Asian and Taino.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. My greatest grandma was like Lebanese or some shit. Like she
Oh
was
wow,
a
yeah,
Dominican.
you got like.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do that.
I haven't
ancestry
done that. I
stuff.
don't know. I feel like
kinda-
they're like stealing my
It's
DNA.
like bullshit, right? They probably. But I'm curious. I'm curious.
How
yeah.
accurate do y'all think this stuff is?
It's
That
for-
23andMe. Like how do they know
it's
my
a CIA
shit?
It's
tool.
so
It's an
accurate they
FBI
can
tool.
clone you.
Nah.
I feel like would y'all trust this? Okay.
I don't know
Scenario.
about trust. I don't know.
Would y'all trust 23andMe, which is one of them? There's a bunch, or straight from the source, somebody from your family. What would you go with if given the scenario? Like 23andMe contradicts what your grandma's saying.
But that,
What would you
but,
go with?
But that's the thing with like when people say, you know, people's memories get foggy and like when do they document it? Do they write it down? You know, I'm always intrigued by that. Like when history is written, like how long did it take for that to be written? Did it take a long time? You know, details get sketchy and stuff. I don't know.
Tell you like even what tribe you're from. Like,
Oh, that's what I
Yeah.
want to know. I want to know what tribe I'm from. You know, yeah. But y'all don't get me wrong. I take my grandma's word very highly. Don't make it seem like I don't believe my grandma. But
Yo,
yeah.
you know what I actually heard recently on YouTube, which I actually did research on this week, which is mad funny that we're having this conversation. They're trying to say on YouTube that the Taino tribe is dead, Lito. They're trying to say on YouTube that the Tainos are extinct. I'm like, how? There's Dominican people.
yeah, we're not pure Taino.
But I'm like, yeah, but a lot, they're still left.
Yeah,
I'm
Puerto
like,
Rican-
that's fake.
Puerto Ricans have a lot more Tainos than anybody else. Like,
Puerto Ricans. I feel like just being Hispanic is dope. I'm sorry. Like,
All beautiful.
just being Hispanic
Shout out
is
to all
dope.
the
But
Latins. All the Latins in hip hop.
moving along,
Shout out to everybody, actually.
we're going to get into
Latinos. No.
your... I definitely want to discuss, like, your vinyl.
Vinyl.
Your
vinyl.
vinyl
And there's
stuff.
no S in vinyl. There's no vinyl.
Vinyl, I'm sorry,
It's
community.
plural
Don't-
already, so it's just
don't be
vinyl.
bad.
Multiple vinyls, vinyl.
Vinyl. Okay, let's go check. Let's talk about this real quick.
Yeah.
So, doing my research with all of this, prior to the pod, I'm like, yo, I went and I listened to a couple vinyls that you posted. And I'm like, yo, I was honestly like, I've never, like, I felt like I was digging for gold. Like, it was like such a cool feeling. Like, it wasn't available everywhere. Some of the stuff wasn't on YouTube. I had to like go through like links and shit. And like, it was like funny.
The treasure hunt. What is this?
But I want to give you my feedback. So I did listen to a couple of them, and one of my favorites was Prince Amongst Thieves by Prince
Oh
Paul.
my God, yes. Let's talk about Prince Paul.
So I
Yes.
listened to that,
It's
and I was
amazing.
like, yo,
That's amazing.
this is fucking great.
Yeah,
Like,
it is without a doubt.
how do you find these vinyls? Like,
well,
what? Like,
nah. So that, man, I've been a fan of Prince Paul since I was a kid. My introduction to Prince Paul had to be Gravediggers, 6 Feet Deep, which is like, for me, is like a masterpiece of hip hop. I think it's not really, it's not praised like that, but it is there. But I think it's a masterpiece. Prince Paul basically did it, but it's RZA's involved.
Yeah.
You know, Poetic, you know that, and I think just Prince Paul, just what he did for hip hop and how he's moved, like he brought skits and comedy into hip hop, and like it just holds together everything, you know.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and the sample game is crazy.
That's literally where we're at right now. Like, listening to these vinyls, I was like, yo, I hear the samples. Like, I could hear like songs that already came out that I'm like, yo, this is where they got it from. And like that process, like, you listen to this music because you indulge in it, right? Like, you like listening to it, but I feel like you're not an artist, so you're actually like enjoying listening to it. You're not like hunting for like samples, you get me? So I feel like your ear is different. I feel like you're actually like indulging in the music and you're actually listening to it and you actually enjoy listening to it versus like searching for samples. But when I was listening to it, I was like, yo, this shit is actually hard. Like, I'm gonna start my morning with some of this stuff. I was like, yo, good, thank you, Rick.
It's like it just I think it just shows in like the effort he put into it, you know.
Yeah.
It's a story, the way it's arranged, you know, the samples he uses, the features that are on it. I think it's just the time and effort that's really put into it, along with like the concept. It's like an overall, like he always looked at all those things, like attention to detail type of person.
Even the cover.
Yeah, just
Even the cover is like very like
a hero. That's a hero.
It gives me like
right there.
Yeah, like it gives me like hood vibe, but like it's like drop top, like in a Cadillac type vibe. Like I don't know, it gives me like that, like back. Well, it's before Dr. Dre and stuff, but it kind of gave me like that kind of vibe, like that, like Cali type vibe. But it was really good, and I liked it, and I enjoyed it, and I feel like the storytelling on it is like one of the arts that's starting to get lost, and I appreciate somebody that could put me in a car and take me with them on their journey. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like when I was listening to that Prince Paul tape, I was like in it and I was like with them, like going through the car and like really like.
You were excited to see what was going to happen next.
I felt like I was reading a book. Like I was like, yo, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? And it's like.
It was just an experience.
That art it's an experience. Exactly. And I feel like that art is starting to get almost lost in the sauce. And it's a lot of yeah, gang, bah, like stop. I'm fucking over it. Rap, bro.
I grew up.
Yo,
Big Daddy Kane on it. No, but I can't. I grew up really young into hip hop. Like I started listening to hip hop when I was like 6 years old, 7. I'm 35. That's a long time to be listening. And I'm not saying you gotta be listening this long to learn or anything. I'm just saying I've been listening, you know, and I've learned to appreciate other things as I gotten older. Like, cause when I was younger, it would just be Nas, Wu-Tang, Nas, Mobb Deep, and Wu. You know, that would be it. You know, and then anything that came from that. But then, you know, as I got older, you know, music changed. You changed, so your ear changes. What you enjoy changes.
Facts.
You know, I got into real underground shit young, and I love that. I love that era of like, you know, Immortal Technique and Nonfiction and Jedi Mind Tricks. I love that era of hip hop. You know, Idea and Abilities. Some of these guys are just great. They still are. You know, they still doing their thing, and they're like pioneers in this shit, independent music. So I'm just really, I grew up in the era where, like, you know, we looked at these people like superheroes, you know?
Yeah.
So the feeling
were.
It felt that way, you know? Wu-Tang were like superheroes.
Yo, Wu-Tang.
Nas was a superhero.
Side note, did y'all watch the BET Awards last night?
Nah, I didn't see it.
If y'all didn't, yo, Fat Joe.
Killed that shit. Flo Joe.
Yo, he
Shout out to
hosted that
Fat
shit,
Joe,
and
man.
Mobb Deep came on, obviously.
That's fire.
RIP.
Just Havoc.
but they did a phenomenal job highlighting hip hop, like hip hop, like hip hop. Like I was off my fucking couch, like yo, like I was losing my shit. Like it was really good, and I suggest everybody watch it. You guys should check it out too. It was really dope. But I always appreciate like good storytelling, good hip hop. Even the newer artists, like if they have like a good storytelling type stuff. As far as like underground, growing up, I did listen to a lot of Immortal Technique. I feel like now, because of the podcast, I'm more meeting more underground artists, going to more underground shows, being exposed more to that community. Thanks to you, thanks to the people around me, and I've learned to appreciate it because it's very different in its own beautiful, special way, and I really like. I feel like the people are, it's like a big family. It's like a whole different vibe from like going to like a commercial artist concert versus like an underground show. And I felt like when I went to my first underground show, it was your show at the pet shop. And I remember turning to Lito and I was like, yo, this is what I want to fucking do. I want to talk to these people.
That's fine.
Literally.
Which one was that? The first one? The second one?
It was... I don't remember.
They're both dope.
I think it was the second one. Yeah, that's like...
The third one was the Columbia show.
So that's perfect timing. So how did y'all meet?
Wow, I know that. I know Phlegmatic. Phlegmatic. I know Phlegmatic a long time. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about that. Like, how did this union happen?
I know Phlegmatic since I was 6 years old. So I know him like 29 years. That's crazy.
Wow, guys, that's a long time.
Yeah, I mean, like we ain't attached at the hip or nothing. Like, you know, we haven't seen each other like for years, and then we reconnect. But you know, but it goes deep, man. And this guy knows my whole family, and I know his family. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like every time y'all link back up, it was like pressing resume, like back.
It was easy.
Know, that's real friendship though. That's real vibe. That's real.
And he knows his shit. And he knows his shit. Let me tell you.
So
I've been schooled in life. I've been lucky to like be able to dig on my own and find great artists on my own, and you know, obviously just learning it on your own. Because coming up in that era, like no one's gonna tell you nothing, and like if they tell you anything, it's very little. Like, you know, because it was like you could boast about that shit. School, you be like, you heard this shit.
Right.
You don't got this. You don't got this song. Yo, you didn't hear this shit. So that era for me was just fun. It was fun. You were involved. Like you were involved. In school, motherfuckers were involved. Like, yo, learn the whole song. Word for word and shit like that. Write down the lyrics.
Yo, you put the lyrics like, way message without aim.
It was all that shit. MySpace have your whatever fucking 25 songs on there.
And you had to have like the hardest songs when they would go to your profile type shit.
Yeah. Damn, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? Columbia, right?
Columbia, yeah. No, we was talking about how y'all came about. And then we're just, you know,
learning about music, like, you know, like sharing music, like, yo, you heard of this? Nah, you heard of this? But it became like almost like, I'm going to get one over you on you. Not even just like, yo, I'm just going to put you on. Like, nah, I put you on, bro. So that's why he get the name Put On Ink, because it would just be like, put on. He'd just be like, yo, I put you on,
that's
bro.
Funny.
Remember where you got this put on from and shit. So it's just like, you know, it's like banter and shit with your friends. So that's a community of people that listen, you know, share the sharing aspect and the digging aspect and, you know, sharing your opinion on shit, even though no one really gives a fuck sometimes. Like, whatever.
But I like this song. Because you give a fuck.
Well, yeah. People, we care, but you know, opinion, you know, people. And I have guilty pleasure songs. You know, they be like, the fuck, you like this shit? I do.
Well, I feel like we all have those though.
I got a lot.
That's what makes us us.
I've been listening to
Munch.
Nah, not like that. What is it? Actually,
that's his favorite song right now.
That's my favorite song right
Every day on the wake up.
It's a good song.
You like in the shower like for lunch.
Was it Ice Spice?
You thought I was feeling you?
Dope. Ice Spice, I'm a fan. Hire me.
Nah. But for real, all jokes aside though, like okay. Y'all have y'all friends first and foremost. Then y'all started bonding over music, a little bit friendly competition. Y'all started discovering the stuff that y'all did. But like, in what moment was it like, yo, let's do a show in Colombia. Like what? Like how?
I think it took a long time to get here, to be honest with you, because like we both, well, I did, I tried to put my little thing in music, and it didn't like work out like that, and he was doing it at the time, so he's like, yo, we should make an album together, and I was like, nah, I'm not on that type of time, and he kept going, and I just kept being a fan, like always, like it just always was that. I've been going to shows for like 17 years.
Yeah.
I've been for a long time by myself with people. It don't matter. So I was doing that, and he was doing college radio.
Gotcha.
And yeah, man. And then we linked up again through music, and I ended up hanging out with like Little Fame in Montclair. I remember that. That was awesome.
Shout out Lil Fame, MOP.
Little Fame, man, talking about Big Pun and shit, talking big pun stories with Little Fame, and like
That's crazy.
know,
That's like
but
legendary shit.
Yeah, that's I have I've definitely been very fortunate to be around what I love, and it took a while to understand that, and now that I see it, like I just want to I want to put my my best foot forward and do as much as I can to basically like help artists and create safe spaces for artists to do their thing, networking and things like that, because there's so much dope shit out. There's so many great artists out doing their thing, working towards what they doing, and it's hard. It's hard out here, man. Trust me, like it's just not easy. Everything's so fast, and people don't really like. I don't know. There's a thing of like appreciating it, like like the way I listened to music growing up to now. It's a big difference. It's so fast, and it just goes through it. Like it's just quick,
It does go fast, like, and I just feel like, especially like in the spaces that we're all in, it's really important to like, always like, just stay true to ourselves and like really like stick to our guns, because there's gonna be all kinds of opinions that you're gonna come across, that Flame's gonna come across, that I'm gonna come across. But I feel like when we're in these positions, we just have to like kind of just like be open to other people's opinions, but then also like have that tunnel vision. Like it's really important. I feel like being able to execute an event in another country is not easy. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like you guys did that shit. So I feel like I'm definitely proud of y'all. I enjoyed the videos that you guys did put up. I did catch them. I think I caught yours through his story.
What video?
Like you guys were posting like footage when y'all was out there and shit of like when y'all was performing and stuff like that.
Well,
like I was tapped in, like I'm dead ass, like I was tapped in and like really watching everything, and I enjoyed it, and I feel like it was dope. Like y'all went to a radio station, like what?
Oh man, yeah, smoke. shout out everybody that was on that bill. Shout out to all that talent. Bob Styles, one of the funniest people in the world, one of the best people in the world. Talented guy, man. That guy.
Shout out to Dale and Jazzo too.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Bob Styles. I'm not bad. Michael Wright, smoking the
Shout
iron.
out.
Everybody.
Killing
Michael
it.
Wright,
Killing
smoking
it.
the
I mean,
that water.
that's not
Prime
it though.
Apple.
Like y'all went to.
DJ Brown, shout out
Shout
to
out
Brown.
to everybody involved, right? Like shout out them
Shout
out.
out everybody, man.
Right, 'cause it's like-
it was definitely something that was difficult to do. It's never like because we're not over there. We're not. We're, we don't have a body over there. We're doing this through like people,
like virtual.
Well, that, and we're like help. People that are there are helping us because we're fortunate to have people that from there, help us out. So it wasn't too crazy like on that side, but it was definitely a lot of work to be done, a lot of moving parts, a lot of
back end work, right? Like a lot of like leg work. Like y'all had to make sure shit was in order.
Yes.
Y'all obviously got to make sure like people show up, right? People are coming to this, people are aware of it.
We're promoting it
like
properly.
would y'all say that y'all would do this again?
Oh, absolutely. I'm actually want to do I want to do a 10-year run of this, to be honest with you.
I'm there in the next one for real.
I definitely want to ante it up, make it better. I'm learning from this. For the first time out, it was amazing. And then to have Crime Apple perform in Colombia was just amazing. Like that was like a very full circle moment for me. Because it's Jersey, and then what he's done for hip hop.
No, yeah, like he's like a really well known rapper.
Oh,
like,
he's great, man.
Yeah,
that's a great guy too.
How was that?
Oh, he killed it. The people were like moshing for him in there. That shit was real, man. The love is real for him over there. For him to do it in the proximity of where he was. It's home.
Yeah, it must have been exciting. Like,
It's
really
it was
fucking
it
exciting.
was amazing. It was. I was just happy to see people having a good time because
For real.
that was like the best feeling because it was free. Everything was
And
free.
another question I have for y'all, like, how's the hip hop scene out in Colombia?
It's dope as fuck, to be honest
like,
with you.
how is that?
They love that. They love
Yeah?
they love
love
hip hop.
it.
Yeah. They're
I can imagine it's probably mad live.
Hip-hop
Very
in South
live.
America is huge.
You know, they're
Caribbean,
there's definitely
all over
not
the world.
how can I say this? They there's so many different types of artists over there too because they do the rap in Spanish and English and they're dope. There's so many dope Colombian
producers.
MCs, great producers, and the scene is very strong. And you know, if we could do this again, why not? And we're definitely gonna go back to Colombia, but we're definitely trying to look at other places to do this, bring artists with us. You know, make it the best thing possible. You know, just promote hip hop in that sense around the world. You know, do two things I love: travel
Right.
and hip hop.
Like, why
so I want to do
not?
forever. That's it.
And it's like you can, like, people need to know, like, you can do what you love and you can eventually, like, essentially make money from it. You just can't give up. Like, you just gotta keep going.
Yeah, this is
and
definitely a sacrifice. you
This
have
is
to-
like all the legwork for like the future, and it's just like, yo, if you have this work ethic now, bro, like you're just gonna reach crazy like mountaintops, bro. Like just keep going. And I know that that's not the end. Like y'all just can't. You just came back from Canada,
Yeah, can't shout out.
so
to
another
Toronto.
show. Like what
Shout
was
out to
going on
Toronto.
over there?
That I did not plan that. I was just involved with that. Shout out to Fungus, by the way.
That's what's
Fungus
up.
Worldwide, and shout out to
You
DJ
outside,
Brown.
Rick? You all, yo,
We
y'all outside,
yeah,
yo.
yeah.
Make sure to bring some fungus.
Yo.
No, I'm actually supposed to get some actually right after this, so I'm gonna grab some. Yeah.
Shout out to Fungus.
Shout out to Fungus. I did not say this. I did not make this quote. Shout out to Pro Dillinger, but he quoted saying, "Fungus is the Gatorade of the underground," and it just stuck with me. It just stuck with me a lot. You know, no, you know, I don't want no problems though because you know this is you know how it goes. So, but
Nah, it's
shout out
okay.
to
This is
Fungus.
a safe
Shout out-
space.
Shout out to Toronto, man. There's so much talent over there. So many great people. I love my time over there. Shout out to JUCO. Shout out
So-
to A-Sun.
That's what's up, yo. It seems like you have a really good ecosystem around you.
I mean, I mean, it's like like-minded people. You know, you surround yourself with people that want to elevate too. You know, and it becomes like second nature because it's not like you're forcing it. I think when you start finding your true passion, I think that's anything. It becomes like you're willing to go harder for it. You know, I'm willing to work for it, sacrifice. Go broke for it sometimes.
Right.
And it's just the joy of being involved too. Not to be in the front of it or anything. I like the background.
I like the
just wanna-
background too. I
I like-
enjoy it. I do this because I actually like talking to people. Like I
Yeah.
like to have these conversations. But if I could do this without showing my face,
You
I
would definitely-
would. Like if I could wear like a big mask or something, like dead mouse or something, I would do that.
Like,
you
that
get me?
would you
Like,
can't do it now because you told the world.
I
but,
can't
like, they
because I
can't-
said
yeah.
motherfuckers on my
They're
face
gonna know.
already.
They're like,
but,
yo, they're gonna
like,
go back
I'm
to
dead
this.
ass. Like I like being in the background. I like being part of the process. I feel like that's very important and not every like that's the shit that people don't see, right? Like people go to these shows that y'all have and like go to these events or whatever, but they just see the final result, right? They don't see all the shit that happened leading up to that point.
Yeah, it's
The work.
So
work,
and that's
stress.
that's why I like to have these conversations. And I just feel like talking about conversations, you had a show some time ago. Like you had a show, you used to have people talk on there. So I'm sure you understand.
Man. Well, I just want to give a shout out to John Monte because John Monte is the one that convinced me to start doing shows. This had to be like 2019, the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020. Like, I met John Monte through a good friend, Dre Mendoza, and I basically got real cool with him. And I just remember him being like, yo, Rick, man, you really into this and you know people, why don't you do a show? So that started that. So shout out to John Monte for putting the battery in the kid's back. And, and then everybody else that's, obviously contributed to all this because it's all community. We all work together. It's not one person.
Yeah.
It takes
It
everybody.
really takes a village. Like
you gotta work.
And that's the
Everybody gotta
thing
work.
that collective ideas, like that's like important. I feel like brainstorming and like having conversations and just like linking up for no reason and just talking, like those are important because it's like from that could come out like best work. Like
Nah, of course. And you're
like, literally.
I'm around people that I'm inspired by, like Mark, Top Shelf, Tyron, the Harlem, Thousand Words, New Vegas, Cinematic, Carlito, WarReady, Astra Studios. I'm around people that are in it to really do something.
Right.
And it's not even for the quick fix because, I understand that, sometimes it takes time for good things to happen and manifest. And I've been in this for like not too long, but I've been in hip hop for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's like a different take on it because I really try to do things with love, as opposed to like, oh, it's going to look this way or people are going to gravitate towards this. I'm learning,
You do it for love, like not just for clicks or not just for like the clout of shit. Like you actually love this shit.
I do, and I love community, and I love
Right.
the idea that in a community we could like, be self-sustainable, and we could really eat off each other, and like, I like that idea,
Me too.
Unity is real,
Me
and
too.
it doesn't have to be like some kumbaya shit, we could really just be like, yo, give people looks like, yo, this is open and slide or whatever the case may
Right.
be in any avenue how the game is, because the game is fucked up, like that's real, it's hard, like
is.
it's real, like it's. And if you're really trying to be an artist out here and you don't got it like that, so you sacrificing, you got to work, dude, people got to work or you don't, it's just a lot goes into this. So I
Yeah.
appreciate all those people like, photographers, creatives, artists, all that, it matters. That all matters at the end because all that makes it what it is.
Right. Shout out to everybody that's involved part of the process. Shout out to the
Process,
people
right.
that make that.
Yeah,
Yeah, all
production
the creatives,
teams.
people that are part of the glue that put everything together and create that final result, right? Because that's what it's about. But it's also about being around people that like help that happen, not just people that are just sitting like trying to reap the benefits, not doing anything.
Word.
Like that's what also we also need to touch base on that. Like it's also important to remove that shit away from you because there's certain things that just don't deserve our energy too. So that's important too. Like knowing how to identify like the potential threats. Not everybody means well. So
Yeah, of course. I mean,
also have to watch out for that type of shit too.
it's hard to put yourself out there, It's hard to be an artist. It's hard to be like, your people see your face. It's cool and all, but I see how difficult it might be. And
Yeah.
like the psychology behind that shit's
Yeah.
like heavy.
Because it's like, yo, sometimes
are
you
this
meet
or that,
people, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you meet people, like perfect example, like you'll meet people, right? And you think like genuinely like, yo, they're trying to get on your bill, trying to get on your show. But in reality, they just trying to meet everyone you know. Right? So us as creatives, we like everyone that's like any type of artist, whether it's beat maker, whether it's rapper, whether it's curator, whether it's any type of creative, like we have a certain, we're a little bit more emotional than the normal person, right?
We're unhinged.
Right. We are. We're just in tune with ourselves so bad that we're emotional people.
Yeah.
So I feel like what comes with that emotion is also our intuition is spot on.
Yeah, we could,
know, like
yeah.
I could tell off 30 seconds if you really fucking with me or you just trying to be around me.
Word.
Right? So we also have to that's part of like when we say that the game is fucked up, that's also part of the shit that it is fucked up because it's like, let's say for example, like you have like these new artists coming out. You've never heard from these people like ever, like not even one song, and they already have like 1 million records. Why? Because they have this machine pushing them, right? Versus the person that's working 15 hours a day, risking a whole paycheck to fucking put out a tape, and it's getting like, I don't know, 300 views a month, right? So the game is rigged, right? But it's all part of like, what you surround yourself around is really important. I feel like, putting in that work, but also like putting out quality work as well. And then also like staying true to yourself type shit.
Crazy.
Right.
And
So
these,
deep.
yeah.
Damn, did I get mad deep?
It did. It got like, I was like, oh wow, it got real.
Fucking journey, y'all.
Right. And I feel like it's a journey, but it's like a beautiful disaster.
It's just, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like I have, these are the first times I feel like myself and like, really finding what I want to do. Cause I was very apprehensive at doing shows at first. Like I don't want to do this, cause you have to do this and that. That's why I realized like everything in life prepares you for your next steps. And that's so cliche and cheesy, but working security for like 8 years, help sharpen my you know, how I speak to people, how I interact with all types of people, and then traveling helps that too.
Yeah.
It builds confidence of how, you know, how you want to move. Like I don't care. I want to take hip hop with me everywhere. Like I want to go everywhere with it. I want to go to every continent. I want to do that. And I want to tap in with that scene and show that scene and build bonds and build bridges. So like, you know, we could actually like, you know, we could leave it behind. I don't know, like do these things so people could do it again. Right. You know, and it doesn't have to be me. You know, I would love just for everyone to do it because it happens all the time. It's always been like that. Yeah, they've been going to Europe forever for hip hop. I remember seeing a documentary when I was young. They showed Onyx in Europe, and like the fan base was crazy over there. And I always used to think like that's so dope how the language barrier doesn't
even matter.
It's just people vibe
because
with
it's
that
just
shit.
like it's a feeling, and like people will forget everything, but they will not forget how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And if you make them feel that music, you got them forever, no matter what. Like they could hear that shit 10 years later, and be like, "Yo, I went to that show. I don't even understand what that dude is saying, but that shit is hard."
Yeah.
Right. So like that's really what it's about, and I feel like you bring people together. You bring like that dope energy together. You're like a glue. Like I don't know if you see yourself like this, but you're like a glue. Like you're literally like a magnet. Like you're like what you do brings people together. Believe it or not. Like
appreciate that.
People go to these shows. They meet each other. They see maybe somebody don't know somebody. See them on the stage. Follow them. Then they're doing a song. Like you don't know what you have probably linked. You know,
just being present
without knowing, right?
And I feel that's like, beautiful. I love that.
That's beautiful.
I love that. I love hearing stuff like that.
Yo, Rick, let me see. Rick is the Cuban link chain of hip hop.
The Where's Waldo of the underground.
Right, but then
I'm
Phlegmatic, you're also part of that process, right? Because you also are part of that process. The people around him are also part of that process. Like without anyone around, he wouldn't be able to do all the things that he's able to do. So it's just like a beautiful thing that that you do what you do. And then also, I also want to highlight these. Correct me if I'm wrong. You create like playlists for Arawaks, or you create like sets?
I did, yeah. They invited me to do. I've always.
That's another thing.
That's
like
crazy.
I was like, yo,
that set was good. It was good, right?
Hip hop. I'm like, wait. I'm so mad. I'm busy right now because I would so want to go over this.
So it was So I was. Shout out to Arawaks, by the way.
You're just a man of many trades
here.
They're
the homie. Well, that's the thing. I never DJ'd ever in my life, but I have records. You know, I have play records. And, you know, they were like, oh, come spin one night. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I never done this. It's like, oh, it's simple. You know, just cue everything, make a list, and, you know, go from there. So I did it one time over there, and I liked it. It was like, oh, this is cool. It wasn't as smooth as I wanted it to be, but the playlist was definitely strong. So they invited me again, and I rocked again. It was great. I had fun. And by that, me doing that, I got invited to DJ at the brewery in my town, which was dope because I love that brewery, Ghost Hog.
That's dope.
Yeah, so little things like that.
Shout out to Arawaks and shout out to Johnny because he's dope. I've known him for years.
Shout out
and
to
we
Arawaks.
reconnected in a show for Arrow. It was the weirdest thing, and I had no idea that he owned Arawaks. And I was like, "Yo, what up?" And he's like, "This is my show," and I'm like, "Oh." What up? I have a pod. And it was like the universe just like doing its thing again. You know what I'm saying? It be like that, yo. And then I was tapped in ever since. I love what he's doing as well.
Nah, they gave me a chance to fulfill like a dream. You know how small as that is. Like, oh, you know, you gonna play records? What? I just, you know, I kind of want to get better. You know, I don't want to say too much, but you know, whatever. Learn.
That was dope. No, it's dope. And I just like, I want to highlight that. That's why I'm talking about it, because I'm like, yo, not only do you do shows, not only do you post dope shit for people to fucking go listen to, you also fucking spin fucking vinyl in Union City. Like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, out here, chicka, DJ Rick.
I need to get my Q-Bird better. I gotta get nice with it. But I'm definitely humble, man, because I just like doing stuff like that. I just like moving. I think that's the most important thing in life, just movement. You know, people say no, you say why. You know, always challenge yourself, because I think that's where it comes from, in that spirit. Like, like, why you coming here? Like, well, I just want to see what's up. And then things lead to other things, like hanging out with DJ Muggs in the pyramids in Mexico. Like
Manifestation Nation right there.
Those
That's
moments
the universe,
are
like, yo,
crazy.
there you go.
Yeah, like you hanging out with DJ, an icon, you know, of hip hop. And it's crazy because like the last time I was in Mexico prior to that, my dad was alive, and we went to Mexico together, and I had Skull and Bones on tape. And I just remember having a great time with my dad over there. And then the next time I'm in Mexico, I'm hanging out with the man that produced that album in the sun in front of the Sun Pyramid.
Crazy.
So those are definitely real dope full circle moments.
That is so dope.
There's a few stories. I have a few funny ones, you know, whatever. Like one day I'll tell you them. They're pretty good. Definitely thinking about writing a book one day. I need like 10 more chapters, but yeah, save it for the book.
This is not your first appearance on the Sabrosa podcast.
Nah, we could talk for hours, bro.
We'll chop
Movies,
it up.
film,
More,
whatever.
Because this is not the last for HipHopRiiick. This is not the last for Phlegmatic. This is not the last of the beautiful things that y'all have going on. And y'all always know is always welcome to come on here and talk about whatever you want to talk about, promote whatever you want to promote. It's totally cool. Do y'all have like any last thoughts for everyone? Like any last words, anything you want to tell people, any advice? Like if people want to start, you know, anything. Like, just start. Yo, believe in yourself and what you do, because you know you have to be your number one fan to get through anything, and that's life. You know, no one's coming for you. You know, have a positive attitude. You know, without a doubt, you know, believe in yourself and move. Movement is everything. You know, showing up is like everything. And I think people don't understand that. Like just showing up could lead to other things. And that's what's happened. Like meeting artists through other artists and just showing up. People are like, oh, just being present.
Just be present.
Being present in the moment and like supporting and like just genuinely like being a good human.
Yeah.
Like, have good intentions.
I've had my moments though, and at shows, young, wildin', young at shows. I loved it. Getting kicked out of shows young was the best. You know.
Shout out to Liam.
Shout out to Liam. Wow. Shout out to Liam.
Yo,
for real.
I'm gonna have to put all these shout outs in the credits of this video.
This is funny. You know, we're gonna tell you the Liam story after
y'all
this.
gonna have to send me a text with all these names because it's too many.
We gotta tell a little story.
Shout out to all the guys and the girls. Shout out to everybody.
No, the Liam story is funny. This is little kid we saw.
Go ahead.
Oh, hold on. Rewind.
What's up? You
Get
say
to the show.
Nah, that's a long story, man. The whole story's too long.
Scenes, all right.
Yeah, no. So we get to the
Y'all
show.
can talk about this. Go.
No, we go to the show. No, all right. So I don't have a ticket. I don't have a ticket. It was what Joel Ortiz and J Electronica. This is years ago. This is a long time ago.
Damn.
And
08, 09,
yeah. So
2010.
I have no ticket. It's sold out. He has a ticket, right? Or you had no ticket? He had no ticket. So we just show up.
Ticket.
We just show up to the venue like we getting in. That's the mindset. We getting in. We don't give a fuck. We're getting in. So we go over there and shit, and we're just there waiting. And I'll have this defeatist attitude like, damn, we ain't gonna get in. We came all the way over here to waste our time, right? And he's like, nah, wait, let's wait. It's gonna happen. I'm like, all right, let's wait. So somebody comes out and they're like, oh, we're selling a ticket. Who wants it?
And
right?
it was cheap.
It was cheap. So Phlegmatic buys the ticket, and I'm like, yo, man, have fun. I'm not gonna. Hey, I'm like, yo, enjoy the show. I'm gonna leave because that's messed up. You're not gonna not going because of me. So
Right.
he's like, hell
Now
no.
we're gonna flip this ticket.
He's like, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. So then we wait, and then somebody else comes out. They're like selling a ticket, and we get it.
No, he was giving out the ticket.
He was giving out a ticket, and we just got in, and like
we was in the last row.
we just pushed up to the front. We're like, fuck that.
I was right behind him.
We went, and there was on the side of the stage with there's like 14, there's like 4 little 14-year-old white kids there, and I'm just confused. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is they like Big Brother or whatever, their guardian, and these kids look like they catching wreck in the corner, and
like kids reboot.
They look, and they're just there chilling, and we're like, we're there, and this one kid's like, yo, could you roll up for me? And I'm like, yeah, sure, like a real great role model I am, right? So I'm like, yeah. So I'm about to like crack the Dutch, and the security guard just looks at me and just like he does like the finger nod, like you better not fucking do that. So I'm like, hell no, I'm not getting kicked out. So but there's a kid that they're with called Liam, and he's just throwing up. And the side right there, just throwing up like he's like hugging the fucking garbage, and he's trash.
Right?
He's like wedding drunk. That's how fucked up this little kid was. He was just like hurling, and like I think they called their mother or some shit. And the mom came.
Not the mom.
They want a T-shirt too.
Yo, that
They
shit
started
was.
giving out T-shirts. One of them won one.
They all grown up though. I wonder how they all doing. Yo, shout outs to them, bro, because they
I
were
was at
they were
that
rocking
show.
for that
Shout
hip
out
hop
to
shit
the guys.
though.
If
Shout
you
out to
hear
the
his
guy.
comment, leave a comment on the
Bro, shout out to Liam though, man.
Go link up, go follow Rick again.
That's
See, he's
Joel.
alive.
Don't be mad at me. I'm telling you some real shit that happened.
Sean Paul came out. If you was at that show,
Sean
Yo,
Paul.
actually,
Oh, baby
yo.
boy,
No.
mama.
You know what we saw? We saw Big Crit. Yo, shout out to Big Crit. We saw Big Crit get booed off over there.
Wait, whoa.
Yeah, this is early on. But then next year he came and he killed it. I think he did SOBs.
See, never give up.
Never
kids.
give up. But y'all remember that moment. And then Jay Electronica came out and said some real shit. And then,
I've been to a lot of shows.
yeah,
too, but not
it was just
underground
crazy,
shows
man.
like that.
Shout out to Big Crit, though, because he proved a lot of people wrong,
one of those
man.
shows.
Probably
Yeah, it
went back to
was.
the drawing board, came out with some fire.
Nah, exactly. It made him better.
About it at
Right.
the show too.
That shit builds character though. Like
Nah, it
going through
does.
things. I've seen a video of Travis Scott in a carnival type shit, like a fair type thing. Yo, it was literally like 5 people.
Get out
Look
of
how
here.
big he is now.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could YouTube it. Travis
sure.
Scott, early performance, like no one, and it'll pop up.
Everybody got to start, man.
Yeah.
Everybody, no one got it. Like,
Seeing things like that gives you motivation, and it
Nah,
gives
it
you
does.
perspective as well. Like, yo, they also went through that shit. You know?
they're gonna have your days. You're not gonna want to
Right.
do it. You're gonna have to, you gotta push.
Yeah.
And that's in anything in life. Anything you want in life, it ain't gonna come like given. So
No.
you have to work for it, take care of it. Water your flowers.
Right.
Make sure your people are good.
Right.
People's mental health is good. Like, that's why I think like the fungus thing and the aspect in the community is so important because, that's another thing. You're talking about mental health now, and that's something that's always been like viewed in the community as weak or non-existent. And it's unfortunate because a lot of us are stressed out. It's a stressful environment. All on top of each other. And there's a lot of energy. So I feel like once you have those kind of tools that help you kind of navigate towards it, the effect of it's more important than just the product itself,
Right.
That's why I think everyone should take mushrooms sometime in their life, at least once, see how it helps, reset
People-
button sometimes for
Yeah.
some people.
People
So-
they just need to stop thinking about shit that they can't control.
But that's the thing though. Sometimes you can't. Some people have no choice, but they just have to. Like it's just what they
Yeah.
are. They wired.
I mean,
like
we're
that.
only human, right? But
Yeah. Humans.
I just
yeah.
feel
Woo!
like
Shout out to humanity, baby.
shout out
That-
to humanity. Look, I'm human. Ow.
I'm human. I am.
I'm human. But man, anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Then
man.
you let me talk. I'm gonna talk mad shit the next time I'm up. I promise you.
Mental health matters.
Gonna,
Don't
yeah.
forget. Thank you for
No,
coming on the show.
Sabrosa
Yeah, you better come. You better come back and
Podcast
talk mad shit on the
Holla.
podcast whenever the fuck you want.
Nah, we wildin' next time. I'm gonna be on some cool key vibes. I'm gonna come in like at a pink robe
Aw.
and like, I'm gonna be on.
Okay.
I'm gonna be on some of that time probably. Nah.
We had a good time today. We had a good conversation.
Now we
talked
gotta
about
do
a lot.
we gotta
covered
do
a lot.
we gotta do the podcast in the next country. I do.
Say less. We out.
Yeah, that's how we gotta do it.
Well, I'm definitely gonna go to Art Basel in December to Miami.
Oh man, I want to go so
Pull
bad,
up.
but work might get in the way. But yeah,
You got enough time. Request that off.
I get
Like, yo, I gotta
I think they give me like 4 days before they could terminate my contract. So I'm gonna use one of those
see
days.
if you could because if you have something prearranged, they kind of have to give it to you off. Like,
I could tell them that like this came up. Who
Yeah.
knows? I don't want to put this on the thing because they're gonna be like,
That's
"Oh,
okay.
you-"
We'll have
They're gonna ask me for my IG
we'll cut it
and
out.
shit. They're gonna be like, cause
cut
it's-
it out.
'cause
I'll
it-
put that so
Yo,
we don't
they
cut it
literally
out.
got that shit in the contract. They need my information for like social media to make sure I'm not posting
Oh no.
because it's like private
So,
shit.
clip,
so
clip.
like very
We good,
that
I
shit's
got
crazy,
You told them
man.
you don't got social.
I told them I
Man,
don't. I'm gonna
yo,
give them my own
we out,
one.
we out.
No, cut it. I didn't say
Nah,
that.
we
You
cut
would
it
quote.
out.
Yeah, it ain't me. It
Okay,
ain't
Goose, do
me.
your thing.
Yo, shout out to LOD too.
Nah, man, thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Thank you
Sick.
for allowing us to have this conversation. I feel like, I definitely wanted to let people know who y'all were, what you do, and like, start from the beginning. And then from here, we could just go along with the saga. But this is the beginning of the chapter.
Of course, and I appreciate you even having me here because I'm just here. I'm doing my part, and I'm not out here for anything else but to see progression in this shit. So help out, learn too. Become more business oriented in this. Learn how to move and make it easy for everybody else, because it's hard out here, trust me.
It is hard out here, and it's like we learn the most through each other's experiences, and that's why having these conversations are really important, because you never know what somebody could take away from it. So that's why they're important. You feel me? But where can people follow y'all at? Social media handles?
Yeah, HipHopRiiick with 3 eyes. HipHopRiiick.
I.
Let me stop.
Cookie letter I. CP Valley?
I'm cooking right now. Yo, shout out to weed. Shout out to weed. Shout out to mushrooms. Fuck the man. Do that shit. Nah. But real shit though. Yeah, man. I love how so many other communities are really getting into psilocybin lately. I just love it. I love seeing it. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's a beautiful sight to see, and you gotta win, but you gotta be right within, like Lauryn Hill said.
Word.
Right? We gonna win, but you can't win if you ain't right within.
Yeah, you gotta be.
So you gotta
Balance.
be right within, and then you start winning. Good
Start
takeaway.
winning.
But yeah, y'all already know the Sabrosa Podcast on Instagram. Phlegmatic, what's your handle? So people can follow
Put
you.
it on ink.
Put it on ink.
Put it on.
All right, guys.
That's
You already know what time it is. Thank you for coming to the Sabrosa Podcast. We got Lito and D on the back. And we are Astra Recording Studios.
Astra.
We're
Let's
over
fucking
and
go.
out. HipHopRiiick, Phlegmatic, Sabrosa, Freshie, Steph, whatever the fuck you call me. Peace.